Hello students. Today we're going to be talking about Prep Chapter 5 and we're going to focus primarily on scope management and the work breakdown structures. You do have a statement of work and a work breakdown structure due this week, so you're going to want to pay plenty of attention and read the entire chapter. So our outcomes are to construct a work breakdown structure, also known as a WBS, to complete a brief statement of work for the project using your text as a guide, and through the work breakdown structure, demonstrate the life cycle of a project through its many systems. Projects have many management systems involved throughout their life cycle. We have integration management, configuration management, scope management, project closeout management, and some others. Today we're going to be talking mostly about scope management. What is the scope? The project scope is everything there is to a project. Project scope management is the detailed development of the project plan to specify the work content and outcomes of the project, the activities that must be performed, the resources consumed, and the quality standards to be maintained. So it provides a foundation around which all work is done on the project. And this is really important because what can happen, I've been involved in a lot of software projects, and what can happen is it's called scope creep. And you've got a project scope, for example, maybe to create an input screen and a database. And so you've planned around that, you've planned how long it's going to take, you've set up your work breakdown structure, and you're in the middle of constructing these two items for the customer. And here we come with a change. Suddenly we're almost finished and they want reports. Well, that was outside the scope, and that's going to impact the rest of the project. So the 6 main areas of the project scope are conceptual development, which is choosing the best method for achieving the project goals. The scope statement, which is a comprehensive definition of all parameters necessary for the project to succeed. This includes the work breakdown structure. Control management and work authorization. Work authorization is where the project sponsor finally says that the project manager can assign resources to the project. Then we have scope reporting, making sure throughout the process that we are compiling our documentation so that anybody that wants to see, who is a project stakeholder, can see where we are within our project scope. Then we have control systems that happens during the execution phase, monitoring and control systems. And then finally, project termination, where we turn the finished product over to the client and then gather all our documentation for our own knowledge base. The goal of scope management is to maximize efficiency through the formation, execution of plans or systems that leave as little as possible to chance. So, the impetus of a new project is usually a statement of work. Before we've got a statement of work, we've got a dream. And we just, we've got an idea, and using our imagination, we either have something we've come up with that we want to do for the organization or for some other organization, or we've got a client that's come to us with an idea. Until we have a statement of work, though, that's all it is. It's a dream. Now, a statement of work can be very detailed as far as what the output is going to be, or it can be more general in nature. The more technological our society has become, the more detailed the statement of works are. So it shows the expectation of the client, the problems the project will address, and the work needed to complete the project. Page 161 of your test describes these parts in detail, and you'll need this for your homework this week. So the statement of work identifies the need for the project, and generally the parts of a simple statement of work are the introduction and background, why we're doing this, the technical description of the project, and then what we're going to produce, and then the timeline and milestones that we'll be producing throughout the project. Then we have the project charter, and it's developed and initiated by the project sponsor. And sometimes it can just be a sign-off on the statement of work. So that's why I said that the statement of works also authorizes a project manager to begin using resources on the project. Within our scope management, we have the work breakdown structure. The work breakdown structure is a list of tasks to be completed during the project. It includes the expected dates for the timeline and for assigning resources. Now, your first work breakdown structure you're going to be doing this week will not have to have resources assigned, but you will need to include predecessors so you can show how the one activity is dependent on another activity. For example, you can't start coding a software project until it has been designed. So that would be a dependency. The predecessor is the design of the software, and that has to come before the development of the software. And the Project Libre tutorial that's in D2L below this is really good. It will show you how to do that. It's quite simple, so don't get bogged down in the software. I want you to learn to use a type of project management software, but I want you to understand the elements of the work breakdown structure as well. It really breaks a project down into bite-sized pieces. Can you imagine when Elon Musk decided he was going to build a rocket, the size of the project and the many sub-projects that were located within that big project? So it has to be broken down into bite-sized pieces. And as I said, Project Libre is where you develop your WBS, and there's a link in the announcement on where to download it. And you need to get the community edition. So more on the work breakdown structures. It echoes the project objectives. We want to see that our product is going to be being built within the work breakdown structure. We can see how the progress is going to go in the WBS. So it creates an organizational chart for the project. Who's responsible for what, when things have to be done, what are the milestones, what are the documents? There's documentation all through a project that will become part of the company's knowledge base. It creates a logic for tracking everything the project entails. It may be used to report the project status and to improve overall communication. We can see all of us see a WBS and we're part of the project team, then we can all see where everything stands. And it also demonstrates how the project will be controlled, who is responsible for what. So there are many systems within a project that will help it stay on track. The scope management statement is a comprehensive definition of all parameters necessary for the project to succeed. And the work breakdown structure is key to helping manage scope and prevent scope creep that we talked about earlier. Control systems refer to the processes put in place to track the ongoing progress of the project. So we have control systems that are going to be happening throughout primarily the execution and monitoring and controlling phases of our project. Then finally, the closeout system represents the project team's best determination about the information transition materials necessary to ensure a smooth transition of the product. So this week, you've got the new software to learn. And like I said, the tutorial is brief and it's very easy to follow, but I am available. I use Project Libre and I will be grading your files that you will actually turn in a Project Libre file. as well as the statement of work. So if you have any questions or problems, I'm always here to help you.